Hey, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutation to the elect and all the brothers pushing this work in sincerity and in truth. This is Brother Thamayim from GMS Toronto coming at you with another video. What you can hear in the background is rushing waters, right? I usually come here every summer and just relax. Couldn't really get to come here. So this is throughout the end of summer. I'm here, and every year I usually come here and make videos. You know, it's kind of peaceful, kind of tranquil, right? Got the flowing water in the background. You know, kind of grew up around water and trees, so you know it brings back a feeling of home, so to speak. Anyways, this lesson that I'm going to be doing is going to be entitled something along the line of Christians don't really know how to, or Christians don't know how to read, or Christians don't know how to, something along that lines when it comes to Christianity, right? I'll figure out a title for this video. But anyways, this lesson is pretty much, I'm piggybacking off of what happened yesterday at the ending of camp, right? We're pretty much preaching at our usual spot, and this Ethiopian man came up, right? Because it was pretty much one of their holidays. Not sure if it's Ethiopian independence, but yesterday was one of those days where, you know, they usually have their celebration, their music, and this man, we went through two things yesterday. We had two guys who started preaching where we're preaching, right? And they, you know, asked them to like move down a little bit because they were on the loudspeaker with a mic. This guy spoke for 2 minutes and stopped, took a water break, and then an hour later he started speaking again. They were handing out pamphlets or whatever the case may be. But that just shows me that Christianity, doesn't matter where they're getting it from, if it's coming from the east or west, they still have the same weak spirit on them, right? They don't have the full understanding. They don't have the knowledge, right? And they all pretty much push the same head. They all pretty much believe in the same nonsense, right? You know the rhetoric. Jesus died for everyone. John 3:16. It's like low level Christianity mumbo jumbo, right? So we had to, and it's a good thing because the young brothers get to go into their, you know, into their bag, so to speak, right? It's a good sharpening tool when other people come up with, you know, doctrines like Christianity, because, you know, that's the main doctrine that's against our truth, really, right? The real truth, the gospel, the good news, right? The main enemy is Christianity, really, because it has some truth in it, right? And like 5% truth, and the rest is just garbage, a hot mess, right? So he, you know, we were bringing out the scriptures, and he's like, oh, what's up with the sign, right? So the sign where you have the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the people that goes back to the lineage of those people, right? Whether they be scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, whether they be in Pakistan, they be in Ethiopia itself, because the scripture in I think Isaiah 11:11 goes into that. It talks about our people are going to be scattered throughout Cush and Shinar. That's the brother calling. I'll call him back. Shinar and the Pathros, and from the islands of the sea, right? That's exactly what we're trying to show this guy that all those people that, you know, that the Bible mentioned, they're all Israelites. So he tried to bring out John 3:16, which we went into the definition of that, which is, you know, an arraignment, right? There are different worlds within this world, right? We even went into different precepts to show him that, you know, Acts 5, right? Acts 2, when he's like, oh, whosoever believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. That whosoever is talking about ye men of Israel, which I went into Acts 2 and I think 21, when it goes into ye men of Israel, hear my words, when it says whosoever believeth in the heavenly Father's Son, right, salvation shall be given unto them. But even within that, there's also the elect. Only the elect are going to believe, right? So, you know, we can't really go into everything once someone come up and debate, but, you know, the point that they're trying to make, you know, you have to just, you know, give them the scriptures. You know, he went into John 3:16, like I said. He went into another precept. You know, Christians don't really have any precept or understanding. They just go off of whatever they're being taught, right? So let's get a definition of the word understanding, right? The biblical definition says here, its meaning is to understand, to gain insight into something, right? And in our case, we gain insight into the truth, who the gospel is for, right? Who are the people of the Lord, you know? Even when you go into Matthew 1, when it tells you he should die for his people, right? That word his, you know, it shows possession, right? It's a possessive noun, a pronoun, Salakia. Let's see his definition. Let's see what it says. Belonging to or associated with a male person or animal previously mentioned or easily identified, right? Belonging to or associated with, right? In this case, the male person is Yahushai, right? He's that lamb that got sacrificed for his nation, right? Let's see what else it says. Of or relating to him or himself, especially as possessor, right? An agent or an object of an action, right? So this all represents Yahushai. This is the definition of what I'm talking about, right? And the reason why we can come to this says here, okay, let me get some more. That which belongs to him, used without the following noun as a pronoun equivalent in meaning to the adjective his. So it's a pronoun, right? It's a possessive pronoun. So the reason why we can come to these understanding is because we look up words, right? We look up words, and that's the main reason why we're so ahead of these Christians, right? Once you start looking at words, which we learned that skill from our elders, right? The elders are not going to hold anything back. They want us to have whatever they have, which is what? Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, right? In the Christian church, these pastors, you know, they don't tell you to do certain things, so they really pretty much make you an underachiever in that church, right? While they get to butcher the scriptures and tell you what they want you to hear, right? So you can come and pay them their money, right? It's not the case over here. Every man in our congregation is a scholar, right? They know how to speak. They know how to decipher words. They know how to go into words and look up words. They know how to like look it up in the Greek or look it up in the Hebrew, because we're, you know, that's the Hebrew Israelite starter kit, right? It's not what Nathan's giving out, right? The men of Great Millstone and the other men that's associated with our camp, right? We represent the truth and represent what it means to be an Israelite that has his mind renewed. We might not be perfect, but that's the goal for perfection. You know, once we have the new body, that's when we'll be perfect. He also went into the new covenant, which I asked him what's a covenant. He didn't really know what the definition of a covenant is, so we had to go into that, right? And then, you know, he thinks that anyone who believes can worship Yahushai Even if you think you worship Yahushua, you can't worship Yahushua in spirit and in truth, because if you don't know what he represents, how can you worship him? Right? So we had to go into all of that stuff, right? Not coming to the full understanding if he's an Israelite. And another thing that I noticed, which, I noticed that these people, when they come up and see the sign, they can't see anything other than Negroes, Mexicans, right? They don't look at the other part of the sign. Even when we pointed out to them, hey, we're not Negroes, we're Judah. We're not West Indians. We're Benjamites, right? So he's like, oh, how come you have to be Jewish and all that stuff? So I'm like, bro, it's not about being Jewish. This is the Israelites, and they're 12 tribes in the nation of Israel. And within that 12 tribes, there's the elect, right? So it says there, 2 Timothy 3:7 says, that ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth, right? So that's what Christianity, this Christianity script, right? They ever think that they're learning, but they'll never come to the full understanding, because their mind is seared with a hot iron, man. Your mind is seared. Let me see if I can find that. First Timothy again says it, now the Spirit speaketh expressively that in the later times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. That also represents our truth that we're in with amongst the Israelites, right? Because you see a lot of people deviate from the thing that they've been taught, and now they're doing their own thing, right? Worshiping Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai in the way that they see fit. But that's not how it goes. There's a right way to worship Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai, right? Speaking lies in hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. So people that come up to the camp and try to debate, because some people, this is new to them. That's why they come up in curiosity. The people who've seen us before, they don't really say anything to us, okay? But for the people who's new to seeing us on the street corner, because they don't usually see so-called black Negroes and Latino men that are young speaking the Bible and trying to wake up our people. They usually don't do that. They don't see that. What they see when they see a Negro or a so-called black person, right? They see dysfunction. They don't see austerity. They don't see soberness. Okay? They see drunk men. They see men with their pants below their waist. So when they come up to us and they see men that are sober-minded, men that are serious, right? Men that speak with conviction, they're taken aback, right? And they have a spirit like, how dare you talk to me like that? Or how dare you teach me anything? Your people are nothing but shit. And that's in itself is a part of prophecy, okay? Where people look down on us. And we went into that also, right? Because there's so many things when you're debating, if it's not really like calm down, you're not going to really get anywhere, right? So I tried calming it down a little bit. We did calm it down, because all the brothers, me and second in command always want us, he's still young in the faith, so he's still snappy, right? He's still snappy, but sometimes I usually let them deal with the situation, and if it gets out of hand, then I'll take over. But yesterday was a good eye opener in how the Christians really are. They really don't know what they're talking about, and they want everyone to have salvation, but salvation is not for everyone. Salvation is only for the Israelites. It tells you that salvation is for the Jews. And that's why I hate using that word Jews, right? Because when people see that word, especially niggas that are trying to come against the Israelites, they see that word Jews in the Bible and they automatically go to the JEWs, right? They automatically go to the Jewish people, which that wasn't talking about that. That's talking about the kingdom of Judah, which are the Negroes, right? And the so-called West Indian, right? We had a kingdom and the Haitians, right? Those are the three tribes that represent the southern kingdom, which are the Jews, right? And that was a derogatory term, because you can't call a man from the tribe of Levi a Jew, right? So they lump all of us together. They can't call a Benjamite a Jew. He'll get offended, right? Especially back then. So the Romans, with the disrespectful self, they put all of us into one category because we looked alike, in a sense, right? So the Christians, they don't have that kind of knowledge. They don't have that, you know, insight on history, because this Bible, you have to know the history, because a lot of Christians, like 99% of Christians, you know, most of them, they just look at this book not knowing that it's a history. It's a history book. And when you get to the New Testament, that was already us in another captivity under the Romans, right? They don't understand these things, right? And Yahushua, when he died under in the captivity under the Roman rulership, being betrayed by his own people, right? And I forgot to bring this out in Acts. Thou I'll just do it verbatim. The kingdom back to Israel. A lot of these Christians, they don't know that that the kingdom to come is only for Israel, man. All right, and this is Acts 1 and 6. They think that the kingdom, you know, like they're not gonna be there. You're gonna be there, but you're not gonna be number one. Just like now, in this time, right? A lot of chipmunks out here. In this time, you're only one person's at the top. In this kingdom, right? In this world in general, you know. It says here, Acts 1 and 6, 6 to 7. When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? So you see who this kingdom is for? I don't know how these Christians just you know, they'll read this and skip over it. And even guys like Vocab Malone, that's how you know they don't have no understanding, or they really want to want what they want, which was their own heart. Right? Their own heart is to so-called bring everyone into the kingdom, even the people that's ruling right now. You can't rule in this kingdom and then come and rule in the kingdom to come. That's not how it works. The scripture said the first shall be last and the last shall be first. So the kingdom to come, right, is for the Israelites. This is what the disciples are asking here. Will thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? Because we only got a piece of the kingdom in the time of King Solomon, right, and King David, right, mainly in the time of King Solomon, because all the Lord's enemies were subdued at this time, just for 40 years. Right? And he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father had put in his own power. Right? So none of them knew. Because they thought when the Lord came back that time, he was going to take the Romans down. No. He's going to take the Romans down in this time. The fourth beast in Revelation. Okay? And this is another thing again. Right? When the Lord was on the earth, he was living in the fourth beast. Okay? But the fourth beast is deadly wound. You know, the Roman Empire fell and was wounded. Okay? To the point where it almost died, but it came back. Because even when the Roman Empire died, where the Edomites were ruling, it came, you know, it never really died because you had the Holy Roman Empire. So it never really died. Right? The rulership with the Edomites died. But it came right back over here under the Spaniards, under the Dutch, under the French, right? Under the guidance of America, you know, the British, right? The Commonwealth, all these things. The EU, it's back. Okay? So the Lord is going to restore the kingdom in this time, under the same people that was ruling 2,000 years ago, right? Because kingdoms don't die, man. Right? They come back. Even this time, the kingdom of Assyria is here in the Babylon the Great. The kingdom of Assyria, the kingdom of Syria is here. The kingdom of Babylon, right? Babylon the Great. This is also Rome. This is also Greece. Because guess what? Last month was the Olympics. That's the Greco-Roman. They started with the Etruscans, but also they took that the Greeks and the Romans took it from the Etruscans and the Minoans, and they made it theirs. Now this is what you have. Right? Last month was last month they had the Olympics. What do you see in there? You see Israelites doing their thing, getting the Olympic medals. And even those so-called white people that you see in the Olympics, you might think that they're so-called white, but trust me, the way they move, they're Israelites, man. So that whole Greek Olympic things, that ceremony and everything, the whole situation, that's all Israelites competing against each other, man. That's all that is. Okay? Confusion of faces. So I kind of wandered off a little bit, but all that stuff to say this: Christians, they don't have the understanding, they don't have the history, they don't have the mystery, they don't have the dark sayings, right? The proverbs, they don't understand the proverbs, they don't understand prophecy really. At the end of the day, because if they understood prophecy, they would know that there's something wrong why the greatest people of the planet Earth is looked down upon. And you can't tell me that they don't know that we're the greatest people on the planet Earth. They see it. Okay? There's a reason why our slavery is documented. Even when the Ish people try to put their captivity over everybody else, right? Our captivity is number one, right? Just like how our captivity under the Romans were number one. Our captivity under the Greeks were number one. Our captivity under the Babylonians were number one. The Assyrians were number one. Okay? They're all documented in the Bible. And even in secular history, they're all there. Okay? So you Christians, you don't have the full understanding, man. The kingdom is for Israel. And you other nations are going to be under the foot of the Israelites. They're not going to be any second, nor third, nor fourth. Okay? It's just going to be the princes, Yahushai, King David, Yahweh, right? The 144,000, right? It's going to be an order in the kingdom of heaven among the Israelites, that totalitarian, iron-fisted government, right? Righteousness is iron-fisted, man. I should make a video about that, right? Because it's going to be tight. Everything's going to be tight. There's certain things you can't eat. There's certain things you can't do. This wicked kingdom is loose, right? Like a woman is loose, her vagina's loose when she's a whore, right? Just like Babylon the Great, the whore that's in the whore that's riding on the scarlet-colored beast, right? That's Babylon the Great, right? When a woman's tight, everyone can't get to her. Okay? She's tight in spirit, meaning a lot of men haven't gotten to her. Okay? So her experiences are a little bit, it's different than the woman who's been around. Our kingdom is going to be likened unto a virgin, man. Okay? That's why the elect are known as virgins. Right? But anyways, I'll leave it there. All praises to Yahweh Bashem El Shai. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect. All brothers, Christians, working sincerely and in truth. Shalom.